Hey, everybody, welcome back to another great episode of the Choking Hazard podcast. Today, we're getting a chance to sit down with Kyle Sleeman and Chris Anderson, who will be featured in a super fight happening at the Ace JiuJitsu Pro Cup, happening November 27th here in Toronto, Ontario. Before we get started, don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're looking for more great interviews with athletes, coaches, different technique breakdowns, events, controversy, make sure you like and subscribe. And don't forget to share with your friends. We appreciate the support and we want to keep growing that channel for you guys. Thanks for joining us. Hope you enjoyed the episode. And don't forget to like and share. And we'll see you soon on the mats. All right, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to another special episode of the Choking Hazard podcast, and we are getting set for the second edition of Ace JiuJitsu Pro Cup in Toronto, Ontario, happening on November 27th in Toronto. It's going to be a huge event. We already have a huge card lined up, but we also have two of our black belt competitors that are going to be in the super fight show, Kyle Sleeman, Chris Anderson. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us today. You guys are part of the first super fight show of the evening. How you guys been? I mean, it's been a while since we've all actually had a chance to talk to each other. I know between tournaments and shows and all that kind of stuff. So how's everybody doing first off?
Go ahead, Chris.
I'm doing good. As Kyle knows, I was really sick last week, and as was he. So glad to finally be feeling better and ready to get back to training. Happy it didn't happen closer to the event, that's for sure. So I appreciate you guys postponing too with everything that was going on the weekend. So
no, absolutely.
Yeah, I was glad to be here. You can go ahead.
Yeah, I'm pretty good. Thanks for asking. Just yeah, again, I was sick last week too, so hopefully we'll be healthy for the next 6 weeks. But other than that, I've just been training hard and competing as much as I can. Competing, just like seeing it like open mats and getting as much experience in as I can.
That's awesome. So, boys, obviously you guys are part of like the second show of the Ace JiuJitsu Pro Cup. I don't know if you guys had a chance to watch the first one or even see it online or attend the event, but it was an awesome event. It was a great showcase, especially for Canadian black belts and Canadian athletes in general, right? So obviously, like Fernando and Jeff were able to ask you guys to be on this card. Like, after seeing the first one, how are you guys excited to be on this card?
I am. I didn't really get to see the first one. I think I watched a couple of matches online, but it did seem like an amazing event to be a part of, very professionally done. You know, I don't compete as much as Kyle does, and I want to get into it more now. I know I'm getting a bit older, but I have my time left, right? So I want to get back out there. And when they asked me to do this, I actually prefer this to go into tournaments. I did the super fights that Kyle had put on a while back, and it was a lot of fun. I like the vibe. It's just, I like knowing that you just have the one match, who you're going against, better than waiting around all day at a tournament. So when they asked me to do it, I was on board right away. I love the challenge myself, and I thought it would look like an awesome thing to be a part of. So I was happy to be invited.
Yeah, actually, I was invited to be on the first card, but I had already, about a week prior to being asked, I had put my money forth for the Chicago Summer Open. So I had money down for the event. I had plans to go with people and things like that. So I had to skip out on the first event to go to Chicago. So I did pretty well in Chicago, so it was worthwhile. But really excited to be on this card, the second event. So yeah, I'm really excited to try and show what I've been working on over the past couple of years.
Awesome. So like, and gents, I get you both respect each other as competitors, as athletes, and again, as school owners, you guys operate your own businesses as well. But obviously you guys are in the business to win, right? To showcase what you guys want to showcase, right? So tell me, like, obviously without giving away game plans, like what should each opponent like kind of look for, being obviously that you guys are facing off each other?
Well, for me, you know, I'm just working really hard, training hard. I like the stand-up aspect. I know Kyle does as well. I like to play the judo and the wrestling game. You know, I prefer to play a top game. I don't mind being on the bottom, but the thing about this is it's really pushed me to start, other than the sickness last week, to really start training hard. And that's what I'm grateful for, to be honest with you, because as we all do, you go in and out. We're always training pretty hard, right? But when you have a reason, something to strive for, it really motivates you to get out there and push a lot harder, get into better shape. I'll have to cut a bit of weight for this, so it's led me to eating a bit better too, right? All that type of stuff. So I'm just excited to be involved with it.
What's this weight division at again? Because you're doing a catch weight or
Yeah, 180 in the gi.
180 in the gi? Gotcha. Kyle, what are you walking around at nowadays?
Well, this morning after a week of being sick, I was 164, but normally I walk around at like 169.
Okay.
Yeah, so
right.
like
So you throw a gi on, you're ready to rock.
Throw a gi on, eat some Dairy Queen ice cream cake the week of, and I'll be fine.
Now I'm jealous.
No, you know what? Honestly, weight doesn't matter to me. I just want to get to a weight that I perform best at.
Mm-hmm.
If I can get to a weight where I know I perform, it doesn't matter what my opponent's weight is, because I'm only worried about my performance. The same thing with like, okay, what's my game plan coming in and things like that. Ultimately, I'm just out to react. I react to the situation at hand and perform and try and perform the best of my ability to whatever situation is happening.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really have a actual game plan going into this, other than being well prepared in any situation possible.
Okay, perfect. So when you guys look at like the rule set, especially even if like for Super Fight Pro card, you guys are gonna have an IBJJF rule set, right? So how you guys feel about the rule set? You guys good with that? Would you prefer it being like, even if you saw the first card being a sub only, things that they could have worked on, or are you happy with the rule set that you guys set up?
I mean, I actually do prefer sub only, but realistically, this is a rule set that we're very used to. It's a rule set you're always competing in, so it's not a problem for me either. I'm good with whatever. I just like to get out there and challenge myself and have fun doing it too.
Yeah, like for me, I like the rule set, to be honest with you, because I feel that to score points leads you down the path of a fight, right? Like you need to pass the guard, and you get the takedown, pass the guard, and blah 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 blah. So even in a sub only, I'm still like looking for my points in my own head, because that's taking me down the path to the finish. I'm still passing guard, knee on belly. If I'm on my back, I'm looking for a sweep. I'm not necessarily looking for a finish, whether it's sub only or not, right? So yeah, I'm kind of always, whether it's sub only or not, I'm always playing the point system and things like that. So that's my style.
Yeah, no, I like it. So when we look at as far as kind of like just like training in general, so obviously you guys are kind of off at an even teal right now. So for example, you both were sick for a whole week. We have about less than about a month still as far as like where you guys are at. How do you guys feel your trainings come in? Do you feel you guys are on track? You're going to be moving at the same pace now? Going to ramp it up soon?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, we both ended up sick at the exact same time, which is a crazy coincidence. But before that, I was in camp, started training really hard. That sickness was bad. I couldn't train last week at all. I think I did one day at the beginning of the week, and that was it. But I'm finally feeling better. So yeah, for the next however many weeks we have, I'm gonna push myself, give myself some time in the last week to recover, because I'm getting kind of old. So I need those days to let the body heal up. But otherwise, I feel like everything's going pretty good, minus last week's sickness. I've been training hard, and yeah.
Yeah, same. I feel my training was going good. I competed a lot in the past 6 weeks. So I kind of like seen all those competitions as like just like a training camp in itself, right? And then yeah, I was sick this week too, but now that I'm getting better, I'm gonna start ramping it up as well. And I know Chris Gamer, I seen him compete at the Cal Samurai Super Fight event and against Mike Large. So right, I got to be training. So he's a gamer, and yeah, so I'm going to be training, and I'm going to come in. I'm going to come in shape to the best of my abilities. So,
Have you guys had the opportunity to compete against each other before at all?
I
no,
don't think, no, we never have.
I remember being a purple belt and seeing the first time I seen Chris compete. I think it was maybe Ontario Open or a GTA Classic. He was a black belt and I was a purple, but I remember seeing him compete and I'm like, oh man, one day I'm going to be competing as a black belt with those guys. And he won that match, and I remember since that day I had a lot of respect for him. So it's nice that 6 or 7 years later we have the opportunity to compete against each other. So it's pretty cool.
So yeah, let me ask you that, because I mean, like, especially when we look at, like, all of us are pretty much in the same age group, right? And I think we've all kind of had the same pathway as far as like being kind of like white and blue belts or purple belts together at the same point during our careers. And obviously people have moved, again, people take breaks, you do all that. So now you're kind of like seeing everybody in our age group really kind of like turning into black belts and either competing or not competing sometimes, myself included, but whatever. But like, like, how does that kind of like feel? It's kind of like full circle where this whole community is like slowly growing bigger and bigger.
Yeah, it is crazy. I remember, and I'm sure you guys do, where if you saw purple belts at one of the local tournaments, you were like, oh, we got to watch this match. There was hardly even any blue belts way back in the day. It was just a bunch of white belts. There was very few black belts around in Ontario, and now there's a lot of high level, highly skilled black belts. It's awesome to get out there and see the new generation coming up after us too, because now you're getting guys that are younger at the higher ranks, right? Like a lot of us, jiu-jitsu wasn't really around for us when we were really young, unless you were really lucky and you lived
you live
in
close.
the city, or so like I grew up in a small town, an hour and a half north of Toronto, right? So I was 25 before I started training in jiu-jitsu. And it's just awesome to see how much it's grown now with the new generation. And like I said, so many more schools open. I'm up in Collingwood now running a school. There's another small town near me with a school with a black belt and a number of black belts on the mat. So it's just crazy to see how far it's spread through Ontario now.
Yeah, it's awesome.
How about you, Kyle?
Yeah, you know what? I think I started jiu-jitsu, I guess I was probably 22, 23 as well. Like 2006-ish, there was probably 5 black belts in Canada, right? So like same thing, going to an event, the best matches of the tournament were 4 straight blue belts competing, or if you're lucky, you've seen a purple belt, right? Like I remember Fernando Azul at Gringo.
Yeah.
The first tournament I did, I watched Gringo compete, and he was a 2 straight purple belt.
Yeah, I remember.
Right? So that was Joslin's 2006.
Oh, yeah, fuck.
That was my first tournament. Yeah. And again, right? Like that's why it's such a small community, because so many people fall off, and there's only so many people that have stuck around. Right? And it's like, it's funny to see all our students are so nervous about competing. But it's like, wait, you're only competing against like my friend that owns a club in Toronto. And so it's kind of funny how they're so nervous about it, but yet it's just our students fighting each other,
Yeah, it's kind of funny because like even Fernando and I were, he was with me at like Woodbridge, and he was at a seminar that I was at, and we were just chatting about the old days, basically like 2006, 2007. He was pro belt, I was white belt, and like just like the barn burner like tournaments that we used to run out of York University, and like just like kick the crap out of each other. But there's just like all white belts fighting against each other. It was just like pandemonium. And like
white belt matches are the greatest entertainment ever, because there's zero technique and it's all heart.
Oh yeah, all heart. It's just like go. And like even Chris, like I remember when we used to do the old like symposiums or whatever, and it was just like just the in-house tournaments, and they would do it like once a month, and it was just like everybody just beat the shit out of each other.
Oh yeah, the zombie league, remember that?
Yeah, the zombie leagues and all that kind of stuff. Like, and it was just like no organization. Like you think like a tournament organization is bad now, like it was like worse then. It's just like you show up at like 8 o'clock, don't fight till like 6.
Yeah.
Like,
well, you remember,
seriously, yeah.
Yeah, like remember my brother fighting a couple MMA matches at the Franco Baron
Oh my
Symposiums way
God.
back. With Batman, I think it was. Yeah,
Oh yeah, it's like
yeah,
I remember those so and again like so stupid, but it's just
yeah.
like I wonder why we're losing students. Like it's that kind of atmosphere.
Good
Yeah, it wasn't
stories to
meant to
tell.
build students.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't because that's the funny thing we were talking about. Is like you know how many like students like we scared away in the old days of like just training like absolute madmen when there's no system in place, but it's just like then you're like it's a constant thing where they say it's not who did it, it's who's left, right?
Yeah,
And that's really like, and I think that's an who the
Chris
Globetrotters.
Howder.
Yeah, he says that. That's his
Yep.
like main line. It's like it's not who started, it's who's left over, right?
Yeah, it's not
And
who's good, it's who's
yes,
left.
that's what it is. Sorry, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for the correction, right? Because that's really what it is, right? So like, and you guys are a testament of that, right? It's like who's left, and then, like I would like to say, like I've had the pleasure of rolling with both of you gentlemen, right? Like, and I respect both your games very well. So I think the audience who don't know you is really in for a treat to see two clashes of two different styles, which is going to be great too.
Awesome.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah,
Can't wait.
absolutely. So obviously there hasn't been a lot of announcements as far as like the card goes, but I know there's only like a couple other announcements. Is there any particular matchup that you've seen so far that you're excited about seeing? I know Kieran's on there with I think Matt.
Yeah, you know what?
That was the one.
Every one that I've seen come up, I'm like, man, this is awesome. Like, you know, everybody that's on the card, like, will probably end up fighting each other sometime, right? So
yeah, exactly.
like that's pretty cool. Yeah, because it's all the top guys around. So it's awesome, man. Like, it's really cool.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited for the whole card for sure. It looks like it's going to be a great night of matches, and can't wait to do it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
So, gents, I know you guys have a promo code. Do you guys want to just quickly plug in that promo code, especially for so everybody who's listening? So these gentlemen have a promo code that so if you're going to purchase it online, the pay-per-view that is available for you, or also if you come to the event, they also get contributions for them during those codes. So, Chris, Kyle, what's your code?
My code is 007.
Oh, even perfect.
007, baby.
He paid for that code, 100%.
And I'm 008, so
Perfect. Excellent. Well, boys, listen, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you about the event. I'm looking forward to your matchup. I will be ringside commentating, so I am excited to see it.
Cool.
awesome.
Boys, anything else you want to say before we kick off for the evening?
No, you know what, Chris? I appreciate you taking the match and competing with me. And yeah, so I hope you train hard and stay healthy. And we'll see you there.
Oh yeah, same to you, man. Nothing but respect for you, and I'm really looking forward to getting out there and testing myself with you. So should be
Let's
a great
do it,
night.
brother. Yeah,
Awesome.
can't wait. Respect.
Awesome. All right, everybody, thank you so much for listening. We do appreciate it. Remember, that is the Ace JiuJitsu Pro Cup happening on November 27th in Toronto, Ontario, or you can catch it online for pay-per-view. It'll be available. Link will be in the bottom. Make sure you use these guys' promo codes if you're going to purchase or come to the event. Awesome. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night. Gentlemen, all the best.
Take care, guys.
Peace.